As I do many mornings, I took a walk in the park this morning, and while I was there, I walked by this elderly couple. We were all wearing masks, and they were maybe in their late 70s, and I was noticing how fortunate it was that they had each other, that they could spend time with and enjoy nature with together. And I was thinking about all the seniors in our community who aren't so fortunate, many of whom live by themselves, and since the COVID pandemic has hit, have been really socially isolated. Now, before COVID-19 hit, JFCS has run a program called AgeWell Rides and Visits, in which we provide volunteer transportation for older adults, and we also have volunteers who come in and do friendly home visits. But since COVID-19 has hit, AgeWell Rides and Visits has had to take a very different twist. And what's happened instead is that now our volunteers, instead of spending time physically with our seniors, are making reassurance calls to them and getting to know them and building relationships with them in different ways. The program actually has been very successful with this new transition. In fact, one of our volunteers has logged over 40 hours spending time with seniors since the stay-at-home order was first imposed. One of the volunteers who has become active since the pandemic has hit, he decided that he wanted to work with seniors after his own mother passed away. And right before the COVID pandemic hit, he was starting to think about getting involved, but he was a little bit apprehensive about visiting seniors who he didn't know in their homes. So making reassurance phone calls actually has worked out really well for him. He has 2 seniors now that he spends time talking to on the phone. He calls each of them about once a week and spends maybe 30 to 40 minutes speaking to them on the phone. So who are these seniors who we serve through AgeWell Rides and Visits? One of them is a gentleman who's 95 years old. He's a World War II veteran, and he was widowed at a young age and ended up raising his 2 young children by himself. Today, he still lives in the same home that he always lived in, and he enjoys music and photography and movies. And actually, prior to the COVID pandemic, he had a volunteer who would come to his home, and the 2 of them would watch movies together. Today, of course, that's not possible. So the 2 of them spend time speaking to each other by phone, and he really enjoys having his day brightened up by speaking with an AgeWell Rides and AgeWell Visits volunteer. The COVID pandemic is obviously very challenging for all of us, but we do know that sometimes we get through challenging situations better by working together. So please consider volunteering to help out people in your community, either through AgeWell Rides and Visits, through some other program, or even just on your own, to helping people in your community who need support and who needs assistance. We all thrive best when we get through challenging times together.